getting any nerfs in the next patch.
Every other champ is.
Yeah, well, other ADCs are. So already we felt like MF has been worth first picking. So it should be interesting on the going forward for Worlds.
Or uninteresting, maybe.
Yeah, it might just get permabanned.
Wow.
Don't I? Fucking electrocute on Steel takes half his HP off.
Yeah, but he's able to recall in time to get all that back. It doesn't really result in much other than a little bit of additional damage in that post-game damage stat.
Yeah, and Steel could have looked for the Raptors. I don't think he has time now to steal away the Raptors of Gemini. Just has more AoE on his champ, so favored even if they're both there at the Raptors. Jung will get a ward in the enemy jungle. Defensive ward on the side of DFM. Same place. Yeah, both teams just warding the same place, but Frank's ward's just better because they're more aggressive and actually give information on what this Lilia is up to.
Yeah. FAK coming down here, making sure that no silly business is occurring. Of course, we know with ultimate vision that there isn't.
Yeah, heal and cleanse for the DFM bot lane versus cleanse ignite. Nice Q from Heart. Evening out that previous trade, getting Yutapon some health back, and Jimmy is going to have an absolute ball of a time down here. Nice dodge by Kaiwing.
One thing I'm looking for Frank here, and it's a critique I guess I only really have for them at the moment, is I really want to see them try and pick up an early dragon.
Yeah.
Because they haven't really done it. This is a game where you'll have so much control in that bottom lane where you can ultimately look for a 4-minute dragon or 5 minutes before those void grubs spawn.
Yeah, against Smolder, you almost have to approach the game like that. You need to put them on a timer. Should be easy with how strong this MF is in the early game compared to Smolder. And it was something they were really good at the beginning of playoffs. They were averaging a dragon and a half in the first 14 minutes or so of each game, but especially in the last game, just dropping priority on this objective. Arya
suffering here.
Yeah, mana.
Not a real surprise.
Yeah, mana pretty good for Jimmy and too. Gemini. Oh, God.
Well, he's going to know that objective's
there.
He's got Kyling
with him.
Yeah, and this is Leona able to come up here as Wako's just 1v2ing. Yeah, and he fails. He fails to kite his Raptors effectively. Now he's going to... Seems like he knew. I guess ultimately had some knowledge due to the fact Kaiwing walked up through that tri-bush.
Arya doing well to get this farm, but Jimmyan is looking for a kill here.
I'd like to see stats, but I think Jimmyan might have the second most solo kills so far in playoffs, other than Evie. Maybe even the most. I mean, he has just played a lot more games than Evie.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe the per-game stats for Frank not looking as good, but totals will definitely be great, having played 20 games.
Yeah, Wako flashing away from that engage there. The Grand Ancients will go wide now. It's going to be Steel that's down here. Gemini trying to get there. The Q misses from Steel, and a lot of damage being returned from Wako. Make it rain. Not going to be pulled. And ultimately, it is just going to cost that flash. And top lane, there's just a solo bolo. How on earth did that occur? But on the bottom side, it's Wako. Once again, being found here. Taken out early on this MF, despite being into the Smolder lane.
Yeah, nice play by Harp there. Pulls the trigger, uses his flash, and that makes you feel a little bit better about your Cassante going down so early in this matchup. We don't see that very often.
Yeah, and Jung is like full health up there too. I really want to replay, but well played by the bottom and jungle there.
Yeah, FAK is on the wrong side of the map currently.
Yeah, and Renekton has 2 dashes. Actually finds the stun at the perfect time as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just mechanically extremely well played. Gets that extra auto for the empowered Q as well.
Wow. And you know, if they don't push heal here from Harp and Flash, he doesn't get in range. He's on the edge of his W there to get Wako. So Harp showing some familiarity with this champion, looking really good on Rakan. Gonna have to get them through this early game. Especially when there's potentially gonna be a very fed Renekton running at his Smolder.
Yeah, I mean, Jung certainly at times has shown his prowess, his ability to just take over a game and carry, and now he's going to put himself in a position to be able to do that. It is Frank now leading by 500 gold.
Arya only down 3 CS, didn't even use his health pot in this lane. Really impressive from him. It looked like massive pressure from Jimmyan. Kaiwing is here alongside Harp.
The El Clasico 2v2 now.
Yeah, XP lead for Kaiwing. Did get some solo XP as his MF went down, and you feel good about picking up that kill. You feel great about it going to Udapon, but kills are secondary to stacks on this champion, and Udapon is down 20 CS. That has almost got his 25 stacks now, and you start to accelerate a bit once you reach that point. And this lane is a disaster for FAK. He might just be dead again before he can crash this wave.
I don't know how he's getting this to be pushed in.
Yeah, Steel uninterested.
Pathmaker gets level 6, Jung. He doesn't have flash. He's gonna pull the Dominus, and the Q coming through. It's enough healing. He needs the E. He dodges out of the Natofu strikes. This is so close. One more Q. The slow no longer on that ability. Oh my god, it's so close, and now the slice gonna be there, and he dodges out of one more of those Natofu strikes. And now we're seeing that nerf that came through about a year ago actually playing a massive part of that. That would have been a kill.
Jimmy.
Well played by FAK to turn that lane around. Jimmy playing aggressively. Actually dodges out there off that Q3 of Arya. A lot of Q3s on the side of DFM.
Yeah, and a lot of Q3s missing for DFM. FAK maybe should have had a solo kill there. Had 2 opportunities to land that skill shot onto Jiang.
Oh, it is so hard to land this early into the game, though.
Yeah, much slower, right?
Yep, slower and has a longer cooldown.
Yeah. Nonetheless, he's happy with how that's played out because his lane
was
a disaster, yeah. And manages to get the crash now and will stop the bleeding for now. And maybe Udapon with this kill is just going to be okay in the 1v1 against MF. We said Smolder struggles down here if left alone. But with a little extra gold, maybe feels okay. Wako.
Grange just lands, but he's on the tower, and Harp actually losing out on that trade.
Kaiwing has time to move up here.
The culling is just going to mount through that health bar. Half HP now is Arya, but
yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Absorb Life, Second Wind, Doran Shield.
Yeah. Sweet footwork, lest we forget. A little bit of healing off of that too. Gemini picking up these Void Grubs, picked up a Dragon as you requested early in this game.
Yeah, listening to me is Gemini.
Jimmy in a little low on mana, but we'll get this crash because he has Kaiwing with him. It's kind of Wako suffering for this.
Yeah, that CS lead has gone down a lot on that bottom side. Of course, not helped out by the fact that Wako was just killed.
Oh lord, the wave just sucks again for FAK.
Yeah.
At least this time has Steel up here, so maybe Steel can hit level 6 and come up here, but Steel has just been uninterested in playing around his top laner historically. Few missing there for FAK too, but looks like the wave's okay now.
Yeah, we'll be pushing back. But still, I mean, I guess Gemini hitting bot. There is a real chance that FAK can be dove, especially with just how often he's been having to use that Pathmaker away from Jiang. As I say that, going to use it once again, and Jiang finding a fantastic trade for himself.
Yeah, he does get his stun blocked by the Pathmaker, but moves away enough so that he's not pushed closer to the tower and avoids any shenanigans this time around.
Yeah, and it's well done by FAK because, you know, the CC exists, but using it on that empowered W just reduces so much of its damage.
Yeah. And it's not easy, right? It's an instant cast spell. You kind of have to predict.
Yeah, for sure. Unless Jiang is like not on exactly on top of you, then you can see it activate, but he was absolutely on top there of FAK, but Quieten down now has the game. It is still Frank that are taking the lead. This is the first time we've seen them in a quiet game state. Actually just slowly but surely getting further and further ahead. Now it's another solo kill up on the top side. FAK almost getting one before, but Jiang managing to actually get it twice and locked up completely here. There's Harp is still trying to make his way in here. He does have access to that ultimate, but in a 2v3 and you have a Smolder, you're never winning that.
Yeah, not level 6 yet is Harp. I'm not sure if it even saves him. Gemini up a massive amount of farm onto a Steel this time around.
Yeah, roles reversed.
So we're going to see what happens top. You were wondering if Gemini was going to come up here to dive Jiang, able to just get it done on his own. Yeah, just at his damage.
Well, the last Pathmaker was fantastic. That one had come out after everything was already used.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not really much he can do. Black Cleaver now completed here on Yi Jiang as we found Harp caught out maybe again.
Yeah, no cooldowns this time to follow up that kill onto Harp. Udapon sitting at 75 stacks, and Frank going to be picking up this next dragon on spawn. A bright side for DFM is it's not a Hextech soul, I guess, so not literally the strongest soul in the game, but Frank on track to get a very early soul. And I'm surprised to see Wako up here.
Void Grubs, probably. But
Dragon's up sooner.
Yeah, I would have liked to have kept my Renekton that solo killing this Cassante.
Yeah, Ray Farky is relieved to see a Misfortune up here. Not a threat to this Cassante at all.
To be fair, maybe Jung can flash on to Yutapon under tower and
certainly
almost one-shot him. There's both Sums and Mum that does have some healings. There's Pathmaker coming through here. The Q should be able to come through from Kaimi. Actually, he used it. So, again, a nice buffer there from Ray Farky.
Yes, Chunk. I'm surprised to see DFM put so many members here.
Flash forward, and we've got so much CC. This should just be Gemini going down. Can he get the ultimate off? Yes, he does, but it's just going to get absorbed up there by Arya. Nice find. That's the flash now. And the ultimate gone from Harp.
Yeah, that should be the Dragon going over to DFM now.
Seemingly uninterested.
Yeah, that is very strange to me. With a Smolder on your team, you feel really good picking up one of these.
Oh, Yutapon's health. I see it going down, and I saw him get stunned out of a wall.
Yeah, it looks like he's okay for now. Once this wave is crashing for the Renekton, he can just ult the wave and get out of there. I think he almost just has to.
Yeah, the problem is, while he is okay in terms of health, bit by bit he gets lower and lower, and it just actually becomes a one-shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be worried at full HP against this Renekton. Seen what he can do to a Cassante. Smolder much more vulnerable than that champion. And honestly, the standouts so far for DFM have been Harp and Arya. Arya doing really well in this lane to stay even, as he has.
Oh, Ray Farky having a miserable old time up here, trying to defend up this minion wave. Does get the Pathmaker out, though.
Oh.
The animation didn't appear like it did. Teleport now from Arya, and Harp does arrive up here as well. So it's 3v4 up on the top side.
Oh.
Yutapon.
Living for now.
Yeah, flash even used from Jung. Does Jung just go down?
Nah, no vision. Nice pick by Jung. Oh, God.
Oh, no. Oh, well played.
Yeah, just outplayed.
Finding the angle.
Uses
teleporting away as well. He's going to get out.
Wow. Jung is putting on a clinic. He can get back to his fountain in time.
Okay, Ray Farky even having to flash away from the top side, so losing around the rift. DFM. They did pick up the Dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, well played to pick up the Dragon.
But
the
3K.
TP top. Arya has to leave top eventually, right? So he doesn't end up being able to save the top tower. Yutapon looking for too much in the 1v1 should be pretty happy to trade his flash with the most fed member of the enemy team and just back away. But yeah, it goes for a little too much there. Not recognizing that nice little play out of Jiang could come out.
Yeah, and no cleanse used during the entirety of that. You have to wonder, and would have to see a replay of exactly what occurred, but there's probably a time where he was able to use the cleanse, find even one more Q, and that seemingly would have been the damage, because Jiang only managed to get that kill with such a bare minimum amount of health left, and that's after Triumph was procced as well.
Yeah, Yutapon choosing to hold on to it. Maybe judging that he doesn't die, correctly judging that he doesn't actually die to the Renekton. He did not have to go down there at all. And wants to save his cleanse for, one of these coming fights, get out of Leona CC. Or maybe just the next Renekton Flash W.
Yeah, 6 Void Grubs for the side of Frank Esports. And you saw last game, they are pretty unconcerned about this Dragon being a win con. Getting an early one means that now DFM are going to struggle to get it, but they're pretty happy as DFM to be able to try and just stack up on the Smolder. Yeah, everything coming out. Fate Seal, Jung. Yeah, can he get one Q out? Yes, he can, but he's going to get stunned up. He's going to try and get away, but it's a shutdown. It's 250 gold, and it's going to Arya, who now sits 2-0, trying to claw their way back. But in the meanwhile, as that bottom tower going down, Yutapon, he's in a lot of trouble here, although the ultimate that does come through is going to clear out that wave and make sure that he is nice and safe.
Yeah, every time he does ult and W the wave like that, though, he's missing out on a lot of stacks on the Smolder, so they are slowing him down.
Yeah, and it pretty much means that he can't fight when his ult's down, especially at this stage of the game. That is pretty much all of his damage. Mirror Mana now completed on him, but it isn't stacked up as of yet.
DFM getting maybe a little overzealous here. Ray Farky does have TP, but they have no ultis on anyone but Ray Farky. Means this Rift Herald is very ambitious. They won't be able to get it. Mid-tower Yutapon going to be glad he has his cleanse here.
Yeah, really nice dodge. The bullet time not going to connect. The culling. One more, we'll get it. Jimmy even flashes away from any form of follow-up under that tower, and now Steel getting a little bit too big for his boots as he's locked down, taken out. It's a tower and a kill there going over to Wako, and a kill also for Jimmy, and these 280 carries feeling really good as Ping's now going onto this Rift Herald, and Frank, they're very dominant here in game number 2 as well.
Yeah, just shy of 5k, ticks over to 5k now as the gold lead for Frank, and Yutapon not able to play towards his team here because they're zoned away after the Rift Herald attempt.
So well played by him to even survive for just that long.
And get Jimmy's flash out of him, so he's had some very close moments on this Smolder. If, you know, he gets out on those slivers of HP, you know, it might be a different looking game and he might be able to get a lot more stacks. As, yeah, frustrating for the coaching staff of DFM. Some unforced errors. I think the Rift Herald start kind of just killed Udapon there, or at the very least lost him the mid-tier one.
Yeah, it does get us 125 now, but super far behind on that clock. Still, it will speed up bit by bit now that he has that, the extra splash damage, and those team fights in particular do end up adding to a lot of extra stacks, but it is just his job to try and not be taken out immediately. As aggression once again in the mid lane here. Steel getting pretty low, but Kaiwing getting lower. Aria will snap back. Harp getting even lower. Harp is just going to get one shot. Does have the flash. Gets the flash away. The Grand Entrance as well. He's going to survive, but that's another tool taken away. The flash heal, not available on Harp, is going to make engaging so much harder for him. Yeah,
it's a comp with not all that much engage on the side of DFM, so only Aria really going to be useful for the engage. Difficult without the Rakan flash.
Yeah, very hard without setup for Yone to find some true engage. Even if that setup is, you know, the Maokai ult, where people aren't actually stunned up, but they're all in a line. Down comes this Rift Herald, aggression towards this bot tower. Kaiwing has the forklift license. He's going to drive it straight into that tower. Can the side of DFM defend? Doesn't seem like it. There is just no wave clear between these champs.
Wow, and all the towers are just falling so quickly for the side of DFM. I'm sure the Smolder will get to his stacks this game, but what state is the game going to be in?
Wako, he has cleanse. He's going to be fine. He does use it at the last minute. Steel just trades ult for cleanse. It's a good trade. For the immediate time being, though, you have to favor the side of Frank as the dragon spawns, but, you know, give it another 60 seconds, and now you have a Waku without a cleanse and Steel with his ult back.
Yeah, taking the cleanse almost exclusively for the Lilia does get some value against the Rakan.
Yeah, but barely, right? You cleanse the charm and get knocked up.
Yeah, you have to cleanse them flash to use it effectively against the Rakan. But yeah, get some value out of the cleanse. As is pretty massive on Wako, honestly. Just out of nowhere has 2 items in a bit.
Talking about massive, Ray Faki.
He's dead.
He gets teleported on. Reset of the Pathmaker is not going to be enough. And that is just another kill to the tally.
Yeah, and Ray Farki had the option to take the Renekton himself. He may be kicking himself for going for the Cassante instead. Jung making him suffer. It's going to be a tier 2 traded for a tier 1. A lot of gold being funneled onto Aria, but more gold going to the side of Frank.
Yeah, well, Yone will scale nicely into this game. It's pretty hard to play a champ like Yone without the setup. And there is setup every now and then, but the problem is it's pretty hard to find the setup in general on 3 range champions, and then, you know, you can't really afford to use it on Jiang or Kaiwing.
Yeah. Please tell me Udapon's not going Essence Reaver. Is that how you build it? Oh, Shojin. It'll be Shojin.
Yeah, it'll be Spirit Shojin.
Okay. Almost lost my mind for a second there. Skipping the Triforce, we've seen just so much variety in the Smolder builds. Not in terms of the items built, but just the order you get them in and which ones you decide to value. Some people don't go for the Mirror Mana, go Triforce, Shojin. Some people really value the Rapid Fire on the champion, and some people don't care about it at all. See how Udapon's build looks from behind, as you often are on the Smolder.
Climbing with tier 1 boots is so fast, by the way.
Yeah, Warmogs. Nice idea, maybe, not getting the tier 1 boots. After the Warmogs nerf, you need some Ruby Crystals.
Jamian, Harp is behind him, and he has no idea.
Yeah, and Harp has been the playmaker for this team. Involved in every kill. They've achieved nothing without this guy.
They might look onto Jimmy, and his team is somewhat near him, but if they're able to just take him out, it should feel pretty good. Harp, slowly but surely, walking further and further up.
TP with him.
Yeah, but Steel's being looked at first. He flashes forward. He's going to find a sleep. It's a really nice sleep, but the teleport coming through to Aria. Aria with the fate sealed. With a bullet time on top of it. Gemini's on 1 HP. He's going to get shut down. So much up to now Jiang and Wako to do in this team fight. There's no bullet time, but it doesn't even matter. Look at the damage coming through from Wako's autos. And Jiang's unkillable. One more auto might just do it. Wako is going to get it. The double tap is what gets it done. To make it rain. Udapon, he's going to have to cleanse. He's going to have to flash, and he's going to get away, but not before his top and mid are taken out. It's still a good trade from behind for DFM, but Frank Esports, they do turn it around.
Yeah, all things considered, it's not the worst trade for DFM. They don't lose any turrets. Both teams commit an equal number of teleports there, and they get some shutdowns. It's Wako who's become a problem now. Harp at the end there tries to save his mid laner as, yeah, it looks like Steel's just dead, but what an ulti and a flash from him. Lives on 1 HP, and then Arya just clips the Lucian on the end there, and Wako with a nice ulti. It's actually Yudapon who's just way out of position for this fight. And as Rakan was top lane for so long, I'm surprised he's just not here to do any damage in this fight. Neglects to even use his ulti, I think, and here Harp tries to save Arya, but Wako just in time gets that last auto off, and it ends up Harp going down to Yudapon. Doesn't even have his E to get out here, so doesn't contribute anything to the fight. Loses both his sums.
Yeah, and
depressing.
The worst part is, for Yudapon, is you actually love being at those fights.
Just hit stuff.
Yeah, just it would have been free reign for him. I mean, you saw the knock-up Arya was able to find. He would have been able to just sit there, bombarding
Baron's
people with his
dead.
Qs. Baron is going to be taken out. Kaiwing making sure that there's no way for Steel to get in there. Teleport comes through for Arya, but too little too late. It's Frank Esports. All they have to do is head the opposite direction. Kaiwing getting some funky ideas. This is a problem we've seen Frank have before, where they do pick up an objective and then fight immediately after for no real reason. Jung, he's half HP. This is such a strong Renekton. Why would you even look for a fight here? In goes the grand entrance, but Harp misses out on it. He does have the quickness popping, so we'll get a few charms as he does get out as well with that battle dance. But Ray Farkey's found his way into Gemini, and Gemini missing his abilities. Before now, we'll go Jimmy in. He does have to flash away eventually. And what is Frank doing? They've lost their goddamn mind.
You called it. You called it before it even happened. You just saw that they were going to go for this fight. It's a bad habit of theirs, and yeah, it repeats again. DFM gets some much-needed time to farm up on this Smolder. Yeah, level 13 now.
During when they should be weakest. There's a Baron against them. Now they just don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, so much. You saw how much they managed to achieve with the Baron in the last fight. Frank, not going to be able to achieve that much this time around. It was a good opportunity to recall, grab this dragon, try break the base. Not so anymore. Yudapon gets to his stacks, just 2 stacks off. We'll hit it.
And this is a problem not exclusive to Frank either. We even see PSG at times do the same thing, where they take an objective, force a fight that is unnecessary, die, lose. Yeah, maybe not everyone on their team's gone down, so you still have some Barons, but it's a lot of time off. It's gold given over to the other team that otherwise shouldn't have been.
Yeah, and this time it was Wako who was just out of position for the fight, probably not expecting his team to fight there. And MF absolutely cannot play from out of position. She does nothing. She's too vulnerable. Trying to flank with this champion, as Frank will get this dragon. I don't think DFM are interested in contesting it at all. We'll probably just wait for their next round of flashes.
Yeah.
Specifically, Harp's flash seems just instrumental. Still 100% KP for this guy. He's had a great game for himself after a shaky game on the Tahm Kench last time around.
Yeah, and it is now Yudapon does have his stacks, so the Smolder well and truly online, so keep an eye on him. If he is able to have uptime in these fights, we could quickly see him take over.
Yeah, Wako has to go for some pen. Look at all the armor coming out.
Arya loses so much of his HP.
Yeah, has built some armor on this Yone, but you couldn't really tell once he faced off against this Lucian MF. Wako flash coming up soon. He'd be a massive shutdown to get for the side of DFM.
Yeah, 500 gold. He has his 3 items now completed on this Misfortune as another Baron wave comes in. This is going to be the last opportunity, the last wave that Frank have to try and break something open. Flash forward here from Kaiwing, finds his way eventually onto Arya, but it's the grand entrance. It's Harp playing Disruptor in the back, and Arya with a nice ult, but it doesn't connect onto Wako, who's free hitting. Steel does go golden, Kaiwing so low, as is Gemini. Wako, though, he's able to just face tank this Lilia. He takes 1. Bullet time still available for him, but honestly, it's a 1-for-1. It's the jungler for the mid laner, and it's another great engage coming through for Harp. It looks so hard for them to play, but he played Disruptor in that back line on Jimmy and onto Wako for so long. Yeah, DFM were able to take advantage there. Yeah, and testament to the massive lead that Frank have this game. This fight could not go better for DFM. Steel just dodges everything. Harp finds a taunt on every member of this team, and Steel also manages to stun up 3 members, land Qs constantly, get as much damage as you could ever expect from a Lilia in this position. Yudapon not even able to hit. Still too dangerous for him to walk up with a Renekton trying to flank. Yeah. But it's still honestly favorable for DFM considering. Look at Jung's build. He has a Zeeks. Oh, okay. Going for the AoE burn Renekton build. I haven't seen this item on Renekton ever. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, generally, this is the build in terms of 2 damage items.
You start going tank, yeah.
Into a tank item. The only exception is some people go the Eclipse, and then it ends up being sort of 3 damage items into the tank. But honestly, I don't mind it. Give your carries the gold. Let Wako, let Jimmy get those minions in the side lane and just play for those cheaper items like the Zeke's is. Yeah,
has kind of had his time in the limelight now on the Renekton. You don't expect this champion to have too much impact now past the 25-minute mark, especially with Yutapon coming online on the Smolder. So just going to play Distraction on this Renekton. Pressure side lanes, should still have shove against the Cassante. Look at the item difference in the top lane.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Less of a serious point, but it now means that Jung can say he's 3 items up.
True, yeah, get his cheap item in.
Well, not 3 items up, but 3 items to 1 and 2 halves?
Yeah. Wako gonna be massive once he finishes this IE, but I mean, still massive now. Hitting level 16 on the MF is a big deal. So much of your damage coming out of the ulti. Not a massive amount of setup for Frank on the MF. It felt like more of a deny pick when they did pick it in this draft, but Wako's just making it look like the strongest champion in this comp.
Yeah, Gemini has been caught out a few times. It is hard to play the brand. All it takes, however, is, especially from this point, 1 team fight where he isn't taken out immediately, he gets his full rotation over.
Yeah.
Probably is just the end of the game. Harp going aggressive here onto Kaiwing. Kaiwing's not going to matter or mind that so much as aggression now coming out of Arya. It is onto just Yijang, who, again, is not going to care that much. Now, Wako gets hit, but not going to pull the trigger.
Has cleanse.
Yeah, cleanse as well as the lifesteal means probably not much going to come from that. Baron, 10 seconds from spawning. Jung looking to recall as well. That was almost a max range.
Yeah, that
stun coming through.
That would have been scary if they can shut down Harp. This.
Oh.
Yeah, he has Warmogs. He'll be okay.
Oh, yeah, he does have Warmogs. He does. Ray Farkey now coming. And we're swapping sides. Jung, he's popped the Dominus. He's going to be able to find his way onto Yutapon or Arya here. There's Yutapon. The cleanse is going to have to come out immediately. It does, and the flash is to answer as well. But again, Harp finds his way onto the back line. But what can Steel do? Steel goes golden. Yutapon's still being chased out by Jung, and he's able to find it. Look at that Sterek shield. It is massive. He's got 2 health bars on the Renekton. Arya trying to trade back, doesn't get over the wall. And it looks like for game number 2, it will just finish with a clean ace. And Jung finds the teleport, finds the flank, and finds both of the carries.
Yeah, the game ends exactly how it started, with Jung just putting on a monster performance start to finish this game. All his carries played safely in this fight, didn't get caught out by any Yone shenanigans, and Heath just finds his way alone onto this Yutapon Smolder with both sums up, still just kills him. Still unable to peel.
I would love to watch it again. I mean, how instrumental was the slow coming through from Zeke's? Because it seemed like Yutapon was trying to kite around and just not able to get out of that. The Dominus AoE, the Zeke's AoE, and eventually gets taken down. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, yeah, Jung got 1 kill. He's going to get taken out. Gets ulted by Yone and gets like a 6,000 health shield. What on earth is going on here? But what a fantastically well-played game from Frank. Now, credit to Harp. Harp tried his absolute damnedest. I think out of everyone on the entire Rift, Harp played the best. And unfortunately lost.
Somehow Harp was 2 levels up on Kaiwing on the mega losing team, just because he was always living in those fights, always finding plays, 100% KP. So shout out to him, but really, you might get your wish of seeing that team fight again, because I can guess who's going to be MVP.